It is not the Toronto Maple Leafs who are cursed. It is me. Welcome to From Center Ice. My name is Courtney, and with the first round done and over with in the Toronto Maple Leafs eliminated and the Rockford Ice Hogs eliminated in the second round in the Calder Cup Playoffs, I thought that aside from the happy hour and the cozy cast, that my playoff coverage was over. But you know, if you've been around, things haven't always been super consistent here on From Center Ice, and I've been in a very nice groove since the playoffs started, so I wasn't necessarily ready to be done just yet. So I sat around and I thought, and I looked at the series that were being played here in the second round. We have the Colorado Avalanche against the St. Louis Blues. We have the Battle of Alberta with the Edmonton Oilers and the Calgary Flames. We have the Battle of Florida with the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. And we have the New York Rangers taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. And I couldn't really decide just one team to go forward with, but I was thinking about the jerseys that I have. I have this Colorado Avalanche jersey, which I'm wearing now because game one for them just ended. It is a Mikko Rantanen jersey. And I have a Rangers one. It is a Alexander Georgiev jersey. I don't have a Florida Panthers one, but I do have a Sergei Bobrovsky jersey, so you're just gonna have to deal with it being a Blue Jackets jersey. And I don't have one for Tampa Bay or the Carolina Hurricanes or either of the Albertan teams. And as I said off the top, I am cursed. And I put out a little poll on Twitter because I pulled this jersey out of the closet first, and I said, should I cover the Colorado Avalanche during this second round? Yes, because my other teams suck, or no, because I am cursed. And I don't necessarily want to curse the Colorado Avalanche, but I am here for chaos, and again, I wasn't ready for my playoff coverage to be done just yet, so we are going to do this a little bit differently here in the second round. Tonight, I am not just going to sit here and talk about game one between the Colorado Avalanche and the St. Louis Blues. I am going to talk about round two, night number one. There were only two games on. It was the Battle of Florida and, of course, Colorado and St. Louis. Now, I will make the teams that I am rooting for very obvious, but I'm going to cover both of them. So, am I going to curse two teams? Am I going to curse four teams, since there are four series going on? We will have to see what kind of chaos I can conjure up here in the second round, since my teams are done and I want to wreak havoc. No, I'm not bitter at all that Toronto should have won that first round series against Tampa and they didn't. There's absolutely no bitterness in my soul, not one bit. And I don't like lying to you guys, so I'll tell you that that's a lie right there. So that is why I am here to bring chaos to all of the teams that are left. Anyway, for the two games that were played tonight, night number one of round two of the Stanley Cup Playoffs, the teams that I was rooting for were the Florida Panthers and the Colorado Avalanche. Now, this may seem pretty obvious if you've been around From Center Ice for a bit, or if you know me personally. We will start in the Central Division. So, if you are new to From Center Ice, hello! Like I said off the top, my name is Courtney. I am a Chicago Blackhawks fan and a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. I am also a fan of the Rockford Ice Hogs in the American Hockey League and a season ticket holder to said Rockford Ice Hogs. Most of the videos on this channel during the regular season tend to be about the Chicago Blackhawks and the Rockford Ice Hogs. I was throwing in some Toronto this past season. This past season was a hot mess for so many reasons we're not going to go into, so it was not very consistent, as I also said. So that is what you will mostly see during the regular season, along with podcasts, and now there are two new podcast series, but we won't go all into that right now. But I'm a Blackhawks fan and a Toronto Maple Leafs fan and an Ice Hogs fan. So obviously I'm not going to be rooting for the St. Louis Blues. Yes, the Colorado Avalanche are also in the Central Division, and I have my qualms with the Avalanche, but we will get to that in just a moment. And when it comes to the Battle of Florida, I think it's pretty obvious why I would be rooting for the Florida Panthers and not the Tampa Bay Lightning. But you know, I don't think I've had a whole lot of Avalanche fans or Florida Panthers fans fans come over to this channel yet. There's been a nice mix here and there. But now I will endear myself to you. So I will give you some of my most memorable moments from your teams. We will start with the Florida Panthers. Back when I was in college, I was an integrated marketing communications major, so I took some PR classes, and in one of these PR classes, we had to pick an organization and build a public relations plan around doing something for them, and mine was bringing more fans into Florida Panthers games and getting the community more involved. I don't remember how I did on said project, I just remember doing it on the Florida Panthers back when you had your old logo, which was a lot better than the new one, I'm sorry to say. Maybe I'm not endearing myself to you that much by saying that, but I'm sure some of you also preferred the older logo. Now one maybe that's a little better, I have been to Sunrise back when you had the BB&T Arena Center? BB&T something? Back when it was its old name. Anyway, after hearing people talk poorly about your arena and game experiences for so many years, I had no idea what to expect, but I actually had a lot of fun down there in Sunrise, and I think it's a very underrated arena and a very underrated place to go see a game. I'm pretty sure I saw a Panthers versus Maple Leafs game, and I believe the Panthers won. Seeing as I don't remember the outcome, it was probably a Panthers win, because I would have remembered if the Leafs had won that game. So y'all got something pretty good going on down there, and I definitely wouldn't mind coming back to see another game down in South Florida. Alright, Panthers fans, I'm gonna have you sit on the side here for a minute, and I'm gonna talk to the Colorado Avalanche fans. Let's see, some of my biggest moments involving the Colorado Avalanche. There's definitely one that comes to mind that I've told the story on the podcast a few times, but I will save that for the very end. But I will go with when the Avs selected Mikko Rantanen in the first round of the NHL entry draft, and I texted one of my best friends who lives out near the Denver area, and she is a big Colorado Avalanche fan, and I said, yo, y'all got a very good player. And since I enjoy being correct, and he has proven me correct thus far throughout his career, that moment will always stick out to me. And even though I've had a very love-hate relationship with the Colorado Avalanche throughout the years, I have enjoyed watching him have success out there in Colorado, and of course I have my Mikko jersey. Number 2, me and my podcast co-host Jacqueline also went out to see said friend in the Denver area, and we went to a Colorado Avalanche game, and the Avs shut out the Buffalo Sabres. And it was a lot of fun. You guys have some pretty decent food options there at the Ball Arena. I believe it was still the Pepsi Center when I was there. But y'all really need to learn how to chant better, because trying to say let's go Avalanche is just way too many syllables. Like, let's go Avs. Is that so hard? I'm supposed to be endearing myself to you, and here I am making fun of your chants. It's just what you get here on From Center Ice, my friends. I love you all, but what is sports without some friendly ribbing here and there? But for real, learn how to chant better. And last but not least, my biggest memory involving the Colorado Avalanche is the one that made me hate the Colorado Avalanche. And that is, once again, going back to my years in college. I actually went to school out in Chicago during the Blackhawks golden years. So I went to a game between the Blackhawks and the Colorado Avalanche, but I was a poor college kid, so we got standing room tickets. They were like $40. And we thought, oh, big deal. We get to go to a hockey game. It's totally cool. If we see some seats that are empty, we'll just grab those. It won't be a big deal. Otherwise, we will just deal with it and stand. So we get there and we're standing around for a while, and the second period goes by, and I believe we're into the second period and these seats are open. So there's only 2 of us. We're like, we'll just take those seats. Clearly nobody is sitting there. And here come the ushers and they're like, do you have tickets for those seats? And we're like, no, we have standing room, but nobody was sitting here, so we took them. And they were like, you can't sit there. And so those seats remained empty for the rest of the game. But that is not why I hate the Colorado Avalanche. That just happened to happen at a Blackhawks versus Avs game. No, because we could not sit in those seats and we had to stand the whole time. My feet were killing me. It was not a very good experience, and the Colorado Avalanche with Semyon Varlamov shut out the Blackhawks and won by a score of 4-0. And ever since then, I have not liked the team. Because I can hold a grudge. Now, I did root for the Avs in the first round last year, and they won. They swept the St. Louis Blues. I was also rooting for them in the second round, and, well, I don't have to tell you how their playoff run went last year. This year, I was also rooting for them in the first round because, again, as a Blackhawks fan, we do not do well with the other Central Division teams that are very close in proximity to us, which is most of them, other than your Colorado Avalanche and the Arizona Coyotes now. So I was very happy when the Avs beat the Preds, and now they're on to play the Blues again, so here I am in my Avs jersey because I can't root for that other team. So now that we have those niceties out of the way, Tampa Bay Lightning fans, St. Louis Blues fans, if you are also here, hello. I figure maybe there's no point in me endearing myself to you since I am not rooting for your team, but you are more than welcome to stick around and hang out and see what I've got to say about these games. So speaking of games, how about we just jump in and start talking about the two games that happened tonight and see just how cursed I am, or am I not cursed tonight? So first up, we have the Battle of Florida, the Florida Panthers against the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Florida Panthers are at home as they were the President's Trophy winners during the regular season, so they have home ice as long as they take themselves through the playoffs. And you know how last playoff season, the Battle of Florida may have been the best playoff series overall in 2021. It was fast-paced, all the players were hitting everything in sight, there were goals, there were scrums, there was just so much going on, and it was so much fun to watch! Tonight's game 1 felt like a retirement game. Like they just dragged a bunch of guys back out of retirement, put some hockey gear on them, and said, "Go play hockey!" Except it's the Stanley Cup Playoffs, so like, try. And maybe they did try, but I don't know if that was the Florida Panthers against the Tampa Bay Lightning that we have come to know this season. From what I could gather from game number 1, the game plans going into this series, one for the Florida Panthers was, let's just take this calmly and, you know, picture some nice palm trees and a drink by the beach, and we will lull the Tampa Bay Lightning into a false sense of security, and then, you know, when they're not at the top of their game, then we will strike like the cats that we are. And that kind of worked at first. The first period was kind of a lot of nothing. The shots on goal were 11-8 in favor of the Florida Panthers, but you would have had me fooled. But you know, first game of a series, feeling out your opponent a little bit, even though it's the two Florida teams and they play each other all the time. But it's the playoffs, it's a bit different. But 14 minutes and 1 second into that first period, Jonathan Huberdeau has the puck coming up the right wing boards into the offensive zone. He finds Anthony Duclair, former Blackhawk, for, you know, just a brief moment, and he sends the puck over to Duclair, who puts the puck behind Andrei Vasilevskiy. 1-0 Cats. Alright, this is going pretty well, not too bad. But you see, I only mentioned the game plan for the Florida Panthers here. Now I must tell you what I observed as the game plan for the Tampa Bay Lightning, which they kind of developed near the end of their first round series with the Toronto Maple Leafs. They were really working on it, honing their plan, seeing what they were going to do this year, you know, third year, going for the third cup in a row, gotta switch it up just a little bit. You got some different players out there, so, you know, gotta mix and match, see what the new plan is. Well, friends, the game plan for the Tampa Bay Lightning goes like this. Dive face first into every hockey stick that you see, and if we have an open shooting lane, whoever is in front of the net, you must take the opposing goaltender's head and turn it so he cannot see the puck. And that's how we win games. It sure worked against Toronto, and guess what? Friends, it worked again tonight. 16 minutes and 22 seconds into the second period on the power play, Nikita Kucherov has the puck. He is driving toward the net, toward Sergei Bobrovsky, Mr. used to be Columbus Blue Jacket that is now the goaltender for the Florida Panthers. And Kucherov decides, I'm not going to shoot the puck. I believe I can feel that I have a teammate coming down the other side of the ice, so I am going to send it to the other side of the ice, which would be the right wing side, where in comes Corey Perry. Nikita Kucherov hits him with the perfect pass, wide open net, 1-1 tie game. And the game goes into the second intermission, tied 1-1. Again, not a whole lot going on in this one, other than 2 high sticking calls drawn by Brandon Hagel. There was that. But it would not stay tied for long. 3 minutes and 35 seconds into the third period, Bellemare picks up a rebound from a Corey Perry shot, I want to say, and Bobrovsky's kind of in the middle of trying to goalie, but also trying to find the puck in between trying to goalie in position. But Bellemare finds the open space, shoots the puck in, 2-1 Lightning. And then 11 minutes and 16 seconds into the third period, Ryan McDonagh is sent off to the penalty box for interference. Now, the Florida Panthers don't score on the ensuing power play, but I felt it necessary to point this out because the Tampa Bay Lightning were very mad. They were very mad about an interference penalty. And y'all, I think my soul left my body and just ascended into the ether because it could not deal with the Tampa Bay Lightning complaining about an interference penalty. Mostly because of, what happened with the Toronto Maple Leafs, but also because it came back full circle, because that was not the last time that interference was involved in this game. But before I get there, the Florida Panthers thought that they got a goal on that ensuing power play, and they did technically score a goal. It was just called back because before the puck had gone in to the correct net, it had gone out of play and hit the netting outside of the glass and popped back into play, but none of the officials saw it. So Florida was celebrating the goal like they had tied the game, and then you see John Cooper, the face we all just love to see these days, and they challenge it, and it gets called back, and it stays 2-1 Lightning. And then, 15 minutes and 54 seconds into the third period, on the power play, Nikita Kucherov has the puck in the Nikita Kucherov spot, which would be the right face-off circle. Anthony Cirelli, I believe, was in front of the net screening Sergei Bobrovsky. And then Nikita Kucherov does the thing that Kucherov does best, is shoot the puck, and into the net it goes. 3-1 Lightning. But we have another challenge. And here, my friends, is where I must ask you. What is goaltender interference? What is it? What is goaltender interference? Can you touch the goaltender? Can you not touch the goaltender? If he's in the blue paint, I thought you weren't supposed to be able to touch him, except sometimes when there's a rebound, you can both go for the puck. But if you are skating by, you have to make every effort to not touch the goaltender. And as Anthony Cirelli is screening Sergei Bobrovsky, as Nikita Kucherov is taking that shot, he is cutting in front of the net, and his backside hits Bobrovsky's head, turning it to the side while the shot is being taken. If you are supposed to let a goaltender play their position, they kind of need their face. You have to be able to see with your face holes where the puck is. How is that not interfering with the goaltender if he cannot use his face holes to see the puck that he has to stop? That is his job as the goaltender, tending the goal to stop the puck, but he cannot see it with his face holes if your butt is in his face, turning it to the right. What is goaltender interference? Well, I went to the NHL rulebook, and Rule 69.3, contact inside the goal crease. If an attacking player initiates contact with a goalkeeper, incidental or otherwise, while the goalkeeper is in his crease and a goal is scored, the goal will be disallowed. Sergei Bobrovsky was not in the white paint. He was in the blue. That is his spot. And Cirelli's butt moves his head so his face holes cannot see the puck to stop the puck and tend the goal, which a goaltender is supposed to do. What is goaltender interference? I never want to see or hear the Tampa Bay Lightning complaining about an interference call ever again. I don't care if it is the most blatant interference that does not get called. I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. Because Andrew Brunette, the head coach for the Florida Panthers, wanted a coach's challenge for that goal. He wanted it reviewed for goaltender interference. Because Bobrovsky's face holes couldn't see the puck. Because his head was moved to the right by a butt of the Tampa Bay Lightning. But that goal was not called back. They said there was no goaltender interference on the play, and they have a good goal on the ice. So you tell me, what is goaltender interference? How are you supposed to get casual fans interested in the game of hockey, in the organization that is the NHL, if the people who play the game, who talk about the game, who coach the game for a living, don't know the rules? How is a casual fan supposed to pick that up? Myself? You here watching it? All of us here in hockey land were not smart enough to realize this before we got sucked in. And now here we are. We have invested too much time in this sport, too much time in the NHL, too much time in our teams that we just continue to yell about it not making sense, and then we go to sleep and we wake up tomorrow and we wait for it to happen again the next night. Rinse and repeat. And then 17 minutes and 44 seconds into the third period, Ross Colton scored a goal, made it 4-1 Tampa, and that is how the game ended in Florida. So, in the Battle of Florida, after one night, the Tampa Bay Lightning hold a 1-0 series lead in the best of 7 with the Florida Panthers. I don't make predictions. I haven't made predictions since 2014. I told you who I was rooting for. Doesn't mean I believe that is necessarily who will win. It's just who I hope wins each series. And even if I were a person who made predictions going off of that first game, I don't know that you can. Because Florida looked like they didn't even show up. Tampa looked like a shell of itself, which, I mean, they kind of did against the Toronto Maple Leafs too, so maybe that's just who they are these days. They're the Tampa Bay Shells instead of Lightning. They went from being up in the sky to being on the beach. That was supposed to be the Florida Panthers game plan, you know, drinks on the beach with the palm trees. Maybe that's why they lost. Tampa used their game plan against them. As well as their dive face first into every stick that you see and turn the opposing goaltender's face with your butt. Anyway, I can't talk about this game anymore. And that being said, I can't guarantee there is going to be a video each night. We'll see how it goes. I'm just trying this out, but there were 2 pretty interesting games on tonight, so I figure this is a good night to give this one a go. But it may get to a point where I can no longer watch the Battle of Florida games, and I just need you to be prepared for that. So let's move on to the better game, the night game between the Colorado Avalanche and the St. Louis Blues. This was another game where there wasn't a whole lot going on there in the first period. The shots on goal were 8-7 in favor of the Colorado Avalanche. Maybe again, sort of a feeling out process, but again, these 2 teams play each other quite a bit. But the Avs did sweep their first round series. They've had a week off. I was wondering how that would affect them. Maybe being slow to get into this game was how it did affect them. But 6 minutes and 25 seconds into the first period, Cale Makar has the puck on his stick right in front of his goaltender, Darcy Kemper. He tries to make a pass to somebody, but it bounces off of another player and ends up right there with Ryan O'Reilly, who kicks the puck and then just gets it on his backhand next to Kemper and roofs it. It was a pretty goal on O'Reilly's part. It was definitely a misplay by Cale Makar, because I don't really know what he was trying to do there, but it was also a very fluky bounce. So I'm not gonna sit here and villainize Cale Makar for that. It was just a weird play, but Ryan O'Reilly did turn it into a very pretty goal, and it was 1-0 in favor of St. Louis. Uh-oh. I had put the Avs jersey on before the start of the game when I had been messing around on Twitter asking if I should make a video for the Avs series. And I just kept it on because, again, I want chaos since my teams are eliminated and I'm not over it yet. So when Ryan O'Reilly scored the first goal of the game to put St. Louis up 1-0, I was like, here we go. I am cursed. It is official, and the Avs are going to lose. They are going to be swept this time because I decided to wear their jersey for game number 1. Well, then I remembered I had cheesecake in my refrigerator, and I don't know about you, but I tend to believe that cheesecake can fix a lot of problems. It is very delicious. It was just a plain slice of cheesecake. So after the first intermission, I grabbed my slice of cheesecake from the refrigerator and I sat down to watch the second period because you don't eat your snacks during the intermission. I mean, you can if you still have them there, but you don't just go get them like, I'm gonna snack during the intermission. You save it for game time. Or is that just me? Is that weird? Do most people eat during intermission and then come back to watch the game? Because I like to eat while the game action is on TV. Let me know. What are your game eating habits? Anyway, I had my cheesecake. I tweeted about it. And as soon as I popped the lid open and put the, I think it's strawberry spread on top of it, took my first bite, and then 3 minutes and 14 seconds into that second period, Mikko Rantanen, my dude, takes a shot, but that shot does not go in the net. But Nichushkin is there as garbage man of the night, picks up the garbage, shovels it past Jordan Binnington, tie game 1-1. And then 11 minutes and 32 seconds into the second period, the Avs get the puck into the offensive zone, kind of dump it in behind Jordan Binnington. He tries to reach back and slow it down. I believe he misses the puck, but he does get back in his net, so this isn't one of those empty net goal stories. But the Avs do come up with the puck. Gabriel Landeskog has the puck on the right wing boards, gets it back to the point to Josh Manson, who slings it over to Samuel Girard. And then we get to see one of my favorite sights in hockey. I don't know why. I don't really have a good reason for it. But seeing a defenseman get a puck and winding up for a huge slap shot, and then just blasting the puck. And that is what Lil Sammy did. The puck didn't go high, it didn't look like it had a whole lot of juice on it, but it had enough, and it went into the net, 5-hole on Jordan Binnington. If you are keeping track at home, that is 2-1 Avalanche. And I was in the clear! I did not curse the Colorado Avalanche on this night. I put the jersey on, the Blues scored first, but I grabbed that cheesecake out of my refrigerator and it turned the whole thing around. Well, sort of. Now, before I get to what happened in the third period of this game, I feel like we must talk about the collective fever dream that everybody who was watching the Colorado Avalanche versus St. Louis Blues game number 1, had right before the third period started. Because on the screen, you could see the ball arena, or whatever it's called these days. You could see the people in the stands, but you could tell that the ice was kind of computerized, and there was a CGI Zamboni, and it was carrying a Chipotle something. And then a big hockey-gloved fist pops out of center ice, and honestly, I don't really know what happened after that because I think I was too confused about what I was seeing. Like, I knew there was something CGI going on because you could tell the Zamboni just wasn't quite right, plus that massive Chipotle, whatever it was. But then seeing the hand come out of the ice, and maybe there were 2 hands. Again, I don't remember once the hand broke through with the hockey glove on it. But I thought I needed to call my doctor and get my medication adjusted. Because that was one of the strangest things I have ever seen while watching a hockey broadcast. And that's saying something! But it was funny, and it provided a nice little Twitter moment for everybody watching the game to be like, did we really just see what happened there? So good on you, Chipotle, for that ad placement. That was hilarious, but very strange, and I still don't know what I saw. But anyway, moving on to the second period, the Avs have the 2-1 lead over St. Louis. And 14 minutes and 53 seconds into this third period, Devon Toews is called for holding. And oh, friends, we have talked a few times on this channel now throughout the first round of the playoffs that the officiating has been questionable at best. best. But on that play, toews and Barbashev get stuck up against a referee on the ice, and it's not him that makes the call, it's the center ice official. And toews goes to the box for apparently holding Barbashev. That was a bad call. And it was kind of getting to that point in the game where the Avs were trying to close it out in regulation. They only had the 1-goal lead, shockingly. Every time I looked at the score, I thought that it was lying to me because it felt like the Avs should have had like a 5-goal lead and it was only a 1-goal lead. Part of that was from them hitting every single goal post that they possibly could. They hit 3 in the first period. And then Jordan Binnington came up with some great saves of his own. But since they were trying to close it out, when the Blues would have control of the puck for just a few moments, because it was pretty much all Avalanche from the second period on, but the Blues were trying to kind of get a push going, but the Avs were kind of caught running around there at the end when they didn't have the puck. Like, they were kind of freaking out, like, oh no, we have to close this out, we need to get the puck back, and it looked like they were in danger of taking more penalties than just that very bogus call on Devon Toews for holding. So 16 minutes and 46 seconds into that third period, while Devon Toews is in the box, Jordan Kyrou has the puck in the offensive zone, and he does some nice little stick work there to keep the puck away from the defender, and he just wrists it past Darcy Kuemper, and the game is tied with just over 3 minutes to go. Uh-oh, I really cursed them, didn't I? I gave them hope with the cheesecake, but I can only eat 1 slice of cheesecake, and so after I finished it, the luck ran out, and now it's just back to me wearing the Avalanche jersey, and I'm cursed, and I brought the curse here to the Avs, and now they are going to lose after completely dominating the Blues for that second and third period. The shots on goal in the second period were 19-9, obviously in favor of Colorado. In the third period, they were 14-9 in favor of Colorado. But there were no other goals scored there in the third period, so off to overtime we go. And we all know anything can happen in overtime. But thankfully the Avs really wanted to win this one. 8 minutes and 2 seconds into overtime, Gabriel Landeskog gets the puck, gets it back again to Josh Manson at the point. After Binnington had kind of been run over and he fell over, but he had plenty of time to get back up, get back into goalie position. His face holes did not have a butt in them. Josh Manson sees this playing out. He's holding on to the puck, kind of fakes a shot, gets the defenders to kind of bite on it a little, maybe gets Jordan Binnington to bite on it a little bit. And then he takes the shot, and this puck had eyes. And the eyes of the puck also did not have a butt in them. No, these eyes were clear and they knew where they were going. It found its way through legs, it found its way past Jordan Binnington and in to the net. 3-2 in overtime. The Colorado Avalanche take game 1, and Josh Manson's first playoff goal of the season is the game winner. So, Avs fans, you tell me, do I keep wearing the jersey for game day, or do I take it off? I'm a very superstitious person myself, but I heard on the Twitter that maybe you didn't want me to cover the game, and here I am, and they won game number 1. Although the Toronto Maple Leafs also won game number 1, 5-0 over the Tampa Bay Lightning. But the Avs aren't playing Tampa right now. But those were your 2 games for the night. After night number 1 of round number 2 in the Stanley Cup Playoffs of 2022, we have the Tampa Bay Lightning up 1-0 over the Florida Panthers in the Battle of Florida, and we have the Colorado Avalanche up 1-0 over the St. Louis Blues in the battle for the Central Division. It's kind of nice being able to watch both games on at night. Of course, I like having more hockey, like having more options. Like with that first round, you could kind of pick and choose what you wanted to watch, but you couldn't watch everything because while the start times were staggered a bit, they weren't staggered enough. But now, 2 games per night, on back-to-back, you can just sit down and watch both of them. And that's what makes making these videos much easier. Again, can't guarantee there will be one every night, just trying this out, so you let me know. If you are still here at the end of this video right here, let me know. What do you think? But those were the games, those were my takes, be it crazy or not. Let me know what you thought of the games tonight. Are you a Florida fan? Are you a Tampa fan? Let me know. Are you a Colorado fan? Are you a St. Louis fan? Let me know. And that will be all from me in this one. If you would like to hear more from me or from Center Ice, you can head on over to fromcenterice.com, where there's links to all the places where you can find us. If you are not subscribed to this channel yet, go ahead and do that. Give this video a like, because that would make me so very happy. There is a new podcast on Mondays and on Fridays. Friday night we have the happy hour. On Mondays we have the cozy cast, which is supposed to be in the morning but took 6 hours to upload to YouTube on Monday for some reason. So it comes out sometime on Monday. But happy hour is around 5 p.m. Central Time on Fridays, and then some other podcasts thrown in between at times, and maybe some more of these videos if you guys like them. So again, subscribe to this channel if you aren't yet. Give this video a like. If you would like to follow along on social media, see me live tweet some of these games, you can do that. The links to all of the platforms are down in the description for you. It is at VFCenterIcePod on Twitter and at FromCenterIcePod on Instagram. All of that being said, if you are new here, welcome. I'm so happy to have you, and thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for dealing with me during the first round. Let's see what kind of chaos we can conjure up here in the second round, and I will catch you all in the next video. Bye, guys.